Former administrative officer in the Department of Immigration, Teresita Castellanos, laid bare on Wednesday the truth as she saw it and, as she claimed, as others knew all along. The department was and is corrupt.
The Immigration Department has an entrenched culture of corruption and hustling, milking the cow, we see, from the very top to the very bottom of the ladder. No politician can force a public officer to do illegal acts when performing our jobs. And if we do, we should face the same consequence. We should face the same consequence as the politicians, if necessary, if it comes to that. For the Belizean people are demanding justice. There are a few good, honest, and dedicated immigration officers, but there was not enough trusted staff to oversee the daily operations of the sections and at the district offices and border station. The call for help was not answered, and this inquiry is the result.
The persons to whom Castellanos refers are all past invitees to the Senate Special Select Committee, though in the case of former acting director of the department, Maria Marin, Castellanos gave her credit for trying to change the corruption culture with limited success.
Like I mentioned, the culture was something that was a different culture that had been ingrained in the department at the time. We were basically trying to fix that culture, change that culture. It's not easy. And we had what I like to call my core management team, who were the finance officer, the admin officer, and the IT manager, visiting the different stations' offices. We have reports, like I mentioned, of the offices that they visited as early as, I think it was March, April, August of 2013, as early as then. We had quarterly OICs, Airport Commanders meeting, where we consistently reminded officers, OICs, of what we were seeing and what we were not seeing.
3 weeks after that appearance, Gordon Wade, the officer then in charge of nationality, tried to suggest that Marin and her boss, Ruth Men, were part of that culture. In the case of the nationality residence requirement, he said they were bending the rules to suit them when needed.
A simple example is in the application for registration through Section 10, where the requirements ask that you be ordinarily residing in Belize for 5 years. In my view, if you show 5-year permits in Belize, I would make a note of that. If you couldn't show 5 legal years in Belize, and you would have shown maybe you had 2 or 3 children born in Belize attending school, and I would forward that to the director stating that the person doesn't have or isn't able to show 5 legal years living in Belize, but have presented proof of being in Belize by having 3 children born here, then they would have that power to decide that's ordinary resident. That is recommended. That is what I would consider. Like I said, I can't speak for her what she was referring to, but being in department for that time, that is what I noticed.
While former director Ruth Men did not specifically talk about culture within the department, she did take responsibility for apparent laxness in checking and vetting files.
Having seen all that has come out, would you recommend a full audit be done of the department and the files?
Certainly.
Certainly. So your recommendation would be that a full audit be done for those years, or other years as well.
I agree.
Would you say?
Yes.
So you agree that a full audit needs to be done?
I think I may have referred to it earlier, where there are certain processes that an oversight role that probably needs to be strengthened. In addition to that, maybe collaboration with some of our agencies in terms of vetting and verifying information. I think that would have helped.
So you do agree that there were some misgivings in all of this?
Based on the report that is presented, yes. I will not say that the Auditor General is way off on anything. The recommendations are recommendations, and I think that they should be viewed as recommendation, and if there are ways to strengthen the department, then yes, I agree with the recommendations.
Ultimately, then CEO Candelaria Saldivar Mortar agreed that things must change and soon.
One of the reasons why I put emphasis on the whole restructuring and reform was because no bandage fix, there was no bandage fix for what was wrong at the Immigration and Nationality Services Department. And that is why we put so much effort, weekends, all-day sessions, in trying to push that forward. Because we realized that no matter what bandage fix we did, we would still be having a lot of issues. And that is my personal feeling in terms of Immigration and Nationality Services. There is no bandage fix for it. We need a complete reform and restructuring in order that these issues could be corrected. And I am talking about the systems in terms of the resources, human resources. We need a complete reform and restructuring. Otherwise, 10 years from now, we'll be having another Senate hearing.
Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.